don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of getting tired of our media lying to Eagles fans. Every year it seems like there's some wild story or some marquee player that the Eagles are going to go after, even when their cap situation doesn't really call for it. So today I want to kind of play a game with you guys. We're going to do a little two truths and a lie. I'm going to go through some of the top stories that I've seen and kind of give you my opinion, and two of them, like I said, will be true in my opinion, and one of them will be just an outright lie. So let's just get into it.
You want Philly food?
Yeah, let's do it.
The Philadelphia Eagles are defending Super Bowl champions, it feels good to say, and with that comes a bunch of scrutiny and a bunch of news that maybe we don't need as Eagles fans. So I wanted to kind of dive through some of the top stories that I've seen and play a little game with you guys of a two truths and lies. So before we get into it, be sure to hit that like, but I don't want to waste no time. Let's hop right into it. The first thing I want to talk about is something I do believe is going to be true. A lot of reporters are talking about this rookie class and saying that they can be very, very useful for this team. I think that if you look at the first two picks, obviously Makuba and Jahad Campbell, I think those guys will find roles right away. Jahad Campbell most likely is going to be a pass rush specialist, at least early on in his career. I think that's kind of where he'll be most comfortable, and especially in Vic Fangio's defense, you don't want to throw too much on him too quick. Now, Makuba is somebody that I've liked since the draft. Before the draft, I was talking about him for a while. I think that he gives you exactly what you lost in a CGJ whatever. I don't care about the acronym. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, you're no longer an Eagle. I'm not going to give you pretty names. Chauncey gave us a lot of versatility, and I think that you got the same thing in a Makuba. Now, do I think that he'll start right away? I do think he'll probably start right away, but is it going to be a hot start? Maybe not. I think it'll take a little bit of time. I think that he'll have to get into the swing of things, but I do think that he's going to be a very, very useful player for the Eagles this year and obviously in the future. Obviously, you have more picks than just those two, though, right? Ty Robinson, 4th round defensive tackle. I think this guy's going to get some burn. I really do. You watch his tape. He's a very good player, very athletic for his size. Got a nice little quickness to him, but he is strong. Man is strong. He is going to go through that D-line, and I think that losing Milton Williams, I think Moro Ojomo steps up, but having a guy like Robinson is just going to be so helpful for the Eagles. And I do think a year, 2 years from now, you're going to see a lot of production from him. I'm very excited to see what he's going to be. Will he be a top 5 defensive tackle in the league? Maybe not, probably not. But I think he's a guy that can stop the run. He can shore up the middle, but he can also give you some valuable pass rush snaps. So I'm excited about Robinson. Mac McWilliams, I don't know if he's even going to make the team. I'm going to be 100% honest with you. If he does, I think it'll be special teams. Smile Munden, I think that I've heard nothing but great things about him, especially as a special teamer. When you look at him in college, he had a lot of great tape. So I do think that he'll step right in. He'll be an ace for us on that special teams. And special teams is a spot that I don't think a lot of people realize how important it is to have good players there. We've seen with the Eagles having bad special teams units and what it did for the Super Bowl. That whole year, we were worried about our special teams, mainly the punt unit, but it is what it is. You need to have those key guys, cogs of your special teams unit, and I think that he'll be one of them for now and the future, and he might even see some reps on the field. Drew Kendall, I like him. I think that he's going to be good depth, even if it's a project this year. I think this year maybe give him a little bit of time to get his feet wet, and then down the line, just kind of go with him. Now, Kyle McCord, Hinton, Williams, not really sure if they even make the roster. McCord, maybe a practice squad guy if they like what they see in training camp. Antoine Powell-Ryland is a guy that a lot of people are talking about, and another guy that I think will be a very useful special teams player early in his career. But again, another guy that I think that you give him a little bit of time, get his feet wet, he could be a very, very key contributor to the Eagles down the line and even in the playoffs. So I think that when you look at this roster of rookies that we have, it makes a lot of sense that they're going to be useful. They're going to be guys that go in there and produce for you, at least half of them. I think that at least half of these guys you're going to see in the, on Sundays, on Monday nights, on Thursday nights. You're going to see them out there giving us big, big plays and big, big moments. So I'll call it a truth. So truth number 2, the next thing I see a lot of people talking about is Jalen Hurts and this passing game. A lot of people are saying that Jalen Hurts is going to be airing the ball out this year, that you won't be seeing what you saw last year, a lot of ground and pound. I think that this is true. Now, I don't necessarily think we're just going to forget we have Saquon Barkley, right? But I do think you're going to see this offense taking advantage of teams trying to load the box against Saquon Barkley. I mean, we last year were one of the best rushing teams, if not the best. I know that Saquon went over 2K. He broke the record for, total yards in the full season, including the playoffs. So obviously we had something very good with the run game, and I think that we will again this year coming up. But it's the NFL. You have a bunch of head coaches that get paid to scout other teams, to realize what teams are good at and how to stop those things. So I do think that other teams are going to be keying in on our running game, which will probably lead to us being a little bit more pass heavy. Now, do I think that it's going to be, Jalen Hurts going out there throwing the ball 30, 40 times a game? Probably not. I think that you're going to see a lot more passes that are an extension of the run game, kind of. Maybe short passes, getting it outside, getting it to your playmakers quick. But I do think that just by necessity that the Eagles will be passing the ball more often. And I think that Jalen Hurts is going to do very well in that situation. You're going to see a lot of one-on-ones. You're going to see a lot of predetermined just lineups from the defense. You're going to see a lot of things that are going to help Jalen Hurts get the ball out of his hand quick and make decisions even prior to the snap. I think one thing that we've seen him mature at is that prior to this, that pre-snap reads, right? Reading the defense, understanding what they're trying to do to you before you even snap the ball. You've seen a lot more motion, which has helped. I think that we incorporate that even more this year, and I think it'll help it. So I think just by necessity, again, like I said, you will most likely see Jalen Hurts throwing the ball more. I'm thinking Jalen Hurts is going to be an MVP. It is what it is. I think that he's been so close 2 years. Right now, you look at the year that we lost the Super Bowl, you look at the year, you can make an argument that even though last year we kind of fell apart, we wouldn't have won all those games if it wasn't for Jalen Hurts. I think this year you could have made an argument for him being an MVP. Obviously, he wasn't, but it is what it is. I think that he's had a lot of years that he's been very close. So I think this is the year he finally goes over. I'm going to call it a truth. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is going to obviously be a lie, right? I mean, it is what it is. There's two truths, and here's your lie. I've been getting so many text messages, so many calls, whether it's a friend, whether it's my father-in-law, shout out to my father-in-law. I've been getting so many calls and texts and people asking me, are we going to get this guy? Are we going to get that guy? I've heard everyone from Trey Hendrickson, TJ Watt, to, Greg Newsome, I think is the new name. We've seen Jalen Ramsey. We've seen so many. Justin Simmons, maybe. I mean, he's a free agent, so I'm not going to add him to that bunch. But all these big trades, it ain't going to happen. I'm sorry. It's just not going to happen. I do not see the Eagles making a huge trade. I don't see the Eagles giving up a bunch of assets. I don't see the Eagles tying up money in the future with any player that they get because it just doesn't make sense. When you look at this team, they are very young. You have a lot of guys on that contract year. We've hit on a lot of drafts, which is very good, but also you got to pay those guys, right? So I don't see the Eagles spending a lot of money, especially future money or future assets on any player that's available. Would I love Trey Hendrickson? I would love him. I would love Trey to come over here. I would love for Jalen Ramsey to come over here, be our cornerback too, even though I have faith and Kaylee Ringo. I have faith in him. I would love for TJ Watt to be a Philadelphia Eagle. I think everybody would. Don't get me wrong. These guys will be great additions, and it would be awesome to see the Eagles go out there and make a blockbuster trade, but it just doesn't make sense. And when someone tells you who they are, just believe them. Howie Roseman said in the beginning of this year, this is not going to be the year that we go out there and throw a bunch of money at people. It just doesn't make sense. We don't have the money in the future. We don't have the assets in the future. We need to make sure that we're continuously building on a championship roster, and to do that, you have to make sure your core guys are here, and you can't go out there spending a bunch of money. You can't go out there spending a bunch of assets and trades to try and get somebody that you're then going to have to pay. So I just think that's a total lie. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. It is what it is. I could just come here and be like, listen, the Eagles are trading for this guy, and I'll get a bunch of clicks. It is, that's how it works on the internet right now. So I'm not mad at anybody going out there talking about these rumors. I get it. I do it too. But I do think that that's a total lie. I don't think the Eagles are going to spend any money, any capital, any worthy capital on a player. Now, if Jalen Ramsey ends up getting traded for a 5th-round pick or a 6th-round pick, we're only paying him for 1 year. They take on some of the contract, or whoever player it is, and those type of parameters are in place. then maybe we could talk. But for the Eagles to go out there and make a blockbuster trade, I just do not see it happening. But I wanted to do something a little bit different, a little bit fun. I just appreciate you guys coming and listening as always. Let me know down below, what are some things that you're hearing that you believe or you don't believe? Our media is something else sometimes, so let's fill up the comments. I appreciate everybody that filled up the comments yesterday, just welcoming me back means so much to me. Before we get out of here, I do want to say thank you to God for giving me the opportunity to talk to you guys again, and thank you all for listening. But other than that, y'all know what it is. This flag was flying, and we are out here. Peace!
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Fly was flying, we on the team. Touchdown, time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly, the podcast. And we can call a man dog, or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man soft. Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season here, early time to do 'em in. Your boy Philly Fresco, thanks for tuning in.